What's going on YouTube? In this video, we're going to take at our weekly expenses from our first week OTR, over the road. So you'll find out whether renting is a good option or not for you. But go ahead and like, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
I've wanted a lot of things that I couldn't have. I've done a lot of things that I shouldn't have. But I live with no regrets because I wouldn't.
All right, YouTube. So getting right into the video. So we almost made $7,000 gross our first week OTR, but that was in an 8-day time frame because one of those loads we didn't get to get in 7 days because of us not being able to get loaded at a shipper because we was going to be 15 minutes past their shipping times. You can see that video right here. But we actually end up making $5,400 in a 7-day period. But let's go ahead and look at our gross, our net, and our expenses. So as you can see here, these were all the loads that we had done that in an 8-day period. Came out to be $6,900, and our weekly net profit was $3,602.73. But we don't live in a perfect world. That week, like I said, we didn't get that fifth load in. So let's go ahead and just look at a 7-day period because I just want to be true to exact. Our first 7 days OTR. So we have to backtrack a little bit. Now we have $5,440 in gross profit, and we take away that $1,450 load. And so these are the numbers. We did 1, 2, 3, 4 loads in 7 days. Definitely like to do 5 loads in 7 days, like I just stated. But that's our gross profit. Let's go ahead and start looking at our expenses. Our first big expense is going to be gas, fuel. This is an expense that you can't really get away with. We spent $883.46 on that particular week. Gas is going to be your biggest expense. You're going to have to fuel your vehicle, fuel your truck. When you're OTR or even local, well, gas, fuel, diesel is going to be your biggest expense. I have been able to save a lot of money on fuel by using an app called the Gas Buddy app, which shows me the cheapest diesel or fuel locations along my route. So I definitely use that while I'm on the road. Even though I just got a fuel card, which allows me to save maybe 10, 20, 30 cents at the pump. So I'm going to be kind of testing that out over the next, few weeks just to see which one's better, the Gas Buddy app versus the fuel card. But I usually stay away from I've been staying away from the major truck stops because they're usually 30, 40, even 50 cents, sometimes higher, 60 cents, sometimes higher than these other smaller chain gas stations. But we'll see how that goes. Our next expense is hotel prices. So we did end up staying 5 nights at a hotel for $341.02. That some couple days that week I did sleep at home because our route went through Atlanta, or went back to Atlanta. And I did stay with family as well when I was in Tennessee. So yeah, if you got family, you can save some money, then that's great. So here's the deal. In a box truck, if you don't have a sleeper, cab in your box truck, it's not DOT approved to sleep along the bench of the truck, the seats of the truck. Can you do it? Yes. Is it illegal? Eh. Probably in a way. If DOT catches you, could they give you a citation? 9 times out of 10, they probably will, because DOT is all about getting paid. Department of Ticketing, not transportation. Just joking. But either way, just be careful sleeping in the truck if that's what you choose to do. If you choose to save money, great, that's on you. I have slept in my truck a few times because it just didn't make sense to actually get a hotel room. Because let's say if you get to a drop at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and your appointment time is 8 a.m., does it make sense to get a hotel room for 7 hours or something like that? Or if I've been in a situation where the hotels were really, really expensive, like in some areas. As you can see, our hotel prices fluctuated from $59, which is nice, typical, or cheapest at 54 to 81. You know, depending on where you're at, the hotel is going to be more expensive, like in a Miami, Florida, or in a, close to New York City or New Jersey, closer to the bigger cities, metropolitan cities is going to be more expensive versus being in the middle of Pennsylvania or, Ohio is going to be a little bit cheaper. But yeah, if you choose to sleep in your truck, that's cool. I've slept in my truck usually at, Walmarts or, where there's plenty of light and, cameras around so I feel safe. Usually not at truck stops. I just feel like, there's more opportunity for DOT to just be riding by and look. Oh, a box truck right there, parked in a parking spot. Let me take a look. So, that's why I usually choose the Walmart parking lots if I do happen to sleep in the truck. And, but anyway, let's move forward with our next expense, which is insurance here. So, insurance, I've broken that down to a weekly expense. My insurance is actually $1,510 and some change a month. I broke it down to weekly just so I know with all my expenses, I break them down to weekly costs so I know what my weekly break even price is, and everything. I know everything above that break even price is profit. So insurance, can't really get away from that expense. The next expense is the rental costs, and I know what you're thinking: $917 a week. Wow, that's a lot of money. So let's actually look deeper into that rental cost. So this is our rental cost. We pay $85 a day, which comes out to be $425 a week. We have a mileage fee for maintenance of 10 cents a mile. That week we did 3,463 miles, so ended up being $346.30. So physical damage coverage is $12 a day. So the reason I have that on, even though I have insurance, is because with Ryder does not accept Progressive's physical damage coverage. So I had to leave that on. I did remove the liability coverage that they initially put on my truck when I got a truck with Ryder, but they didn't accept the physical damage coverage. Now, if you go with budget, Penske, or Enterprise, maybe they will accept Progressive's coverage. Or if you rent a truck with Ryder and you don't have Progressive have insurance, maybe they will accept that particular coverage. But check this out. Here is a gem though. Because this physical damage coverage of $12 a day not necessarily is a bad thing. Because look at it like this. When I eventually scale up, you know, let's say get my second truck. If you own a truck, your insurance is going to double. Since I'm renting a truck, when I scale up, my insurance stays virtually the same. The only expense that will be is maybe adding $100 for adding an additional driver. If I add additional driver. Other than that, you know, the $1,510 I pay for insurance is going to be the same whether I have one truck or 10 trucks. That's pretty crazy, right? If you own a truck, your insurance is going to double when you get a second truck. When you get a third truck, it's going to triple. So that is kind of a perk or a pro when it comes to renting. And the thing is, with the physical damage coverage, is you don't have to worry about any claims against your insurance. Because you have physical damage coverage on. So if anything happens with the truck, I mean, you just ride or fix it. You pay maybe $1,000, $1,500 deductible, or if it's less than deductible, you just pay out of pocket. But you're not using your primary insurance and raising up your premiums for every incident that may happen, especially if you have a fleet with company drivers as employees. Now, the liability coverage, since I have a hired or any auto policy, I'm covered for any vehicle under my authority or under my LLC or business entity. So that's just kind of a plus when it comes to renting. So let's scroll down to the bottom. We got $61.70 in taxes. Sure wish we can get away from that, but we live in a great old country of America where you have to pay Uncle Sam, so it is what it is. So $917 total for the week, but that is what the the truck is costing me. So let's go back. All right, so next thing we're going to be looking at is load boards. I use two load boards currently, which was Truck Stop and DAT, and those Truck Stop is the least expensive one, and DAT is the more expensive one. The actual Truck Stop that I am using is probably one of the higher paid versions. They have cheaper versions. I just use this one because it has a lot more of the features on it that I plan on using in the future. But $47 is my weekly expense when it comes to trucks to the load boards. $47 is my weekly expense. So dispatching fees. So the dispatcher I was using was charging me a 10% fee. As you can see, $1,500 on this load, $150 10% fee, and so forth. So as we get down to right here, it's just $23 is from my factoring company, which was invoicing fees that they charged, you know. And then this $163 is the 3% my factoring company charged me. So here's the deal. Can you avoid these fees? Because it end up being $731.20. Maybe. Um, if you have somebody who can dispatch for you, then it might not be a bad idea. Maybe a spouse or or who lives with you. You can keep that money in house. But if not, then dispatching fees is just what they are. You know, it allows you the ability to rest when you're not loaded and driving the truck. So you can be fully aware when you are loaded and driving the truck. Because when you're on the road, you don't have time to look for loads. So I mean, dispatching fee is what it is. You know, Now the factoring fee is a fee that you can probably get rid of down the road. Let's say a year or two from now, when you have their business built up and you have capital in the bank. Because I'm paying that 3% fee just so I can the get paid this gross, get paid that gross, you know, um, in 24 to 48 hours, versus the 30 days that usually take the shipper to pay you. So down the road, once I have capital built up in my business, maybe waiting 30 days to get paid won't be a bad idea or a bad thing. You know, I could be able to wait for the money to come. But as a new business, you have startup costs and expenses that you have to need to be paid right away. So that is what it is. So after all these expenses, our weekly expenses come out to be $3,297.27. And with only 4 loads done that week, $2,142.73 was our 7 day, net profit. I did talk about the 8 day, but for a 7 day net profit, this is what we had. So here is the deal. Could you have made more money if you owned a truck? Yes. Could you have made more money if you was maybe financing the truck? Yes. Obviously more money owned, even, not as much money financing, but even leased maybe make more money. But here's the deal, you know, with renting a truck, it's opportunity maybe as a stepping stone to get your foot in the door for under $3,500 in this business. Maybe you start out renting and you can scale up to, to leasing a truck or financing a truck or even owning a truck. But let me show y'all some numbers real quick. Let me, expand your mind, blow your mind just a little bit. So let's pull out the calculator. So $2,142.73 is how much I made a week. Let's times that by 4. You made $8,570.92 in a month. Not bad, right? Times that by 12. You made $102,000, $102,851.04 in a year. So even with renting, you have a six-figure business. This is net profit, by the way, six figures in net profit. And that's only if you made $5,400 gross a week. So let's say, for instance, we did a little bit better. Let's say if we did get that fifth load in, and we was able to make, let's see here, $3,602.73, times that by 4. Now we made $14,410.92 a month. Not bad for renting a truck with only paying $3,500 to start, right? So you times that by 12, you're at $172,931.04 a year. Wow. Renting a truck. Is this doable? Yes, it's doable. I mean, with a lot of hard work. I mean, but let's just say, for instance, on average, that more of 100, in between 100 and 2,000 is probably a baseline that you should be striving for. And this is, going all out. You know, the but baseline, you can do six figures. You know, but shoot for this number. But baseline, you can do six figures at least, is what I'm saying in this business, renting a truck. To be quite honest, y'all, I never looked at this a standpoint of only being an owner operator. I did my due diligence going in, and as y'all know, my YouTube handler is CEO Caleb, not owner operator Caleb, because I never looked at this as going in as um a new career path for me to be an owner operator, driving the truck, for the next few years or make this a career. I look at this from a CEO standpoint, and I really did my due diligence as my goal was for this year is to start out, or at least start out with one truck, but to scale to 8 trucks. So let me show y'all real quick what the numbers look like with 8 trucks. So check it out. Let's say, for instance, we got 8 trucks, and we only made $5,400 a week. Times that by 8. So that's $43,520 in gross profits a month. So obviously, when you got drivers, you got to pay your drivers. Let's say we pay our drivers really good. Let's say we paid them really good, 25%. So how much money we got left after we paid our drivers? Times point. Bam. So now we got in gross profits $32,640 in gross profits in a week. This is a week, y'all. In a week. So let's just kind of minus our expenses. Let's just round our expenses to about $3,000 a week. Times that by 8. It's minus 24,000. And like I mentioned to y'all, our insurance would be virtually the same even if we got one truck or 8 trucks. So we got to add some money back. Let's just say we added back about $2,400 or $2,000. Let's say we add back about $2,000. That's just because we're not paying a weekly cost for insurance. Our insurance is virtually going to stay the same. So with 8 trucks, our net profit is essentially $10,640. All right, times that by 4. Our monthly profit is $42,560. Times that by 12. That's $510,720 in net profit with 8 trucks. A $500,000 business in net profit. See, that was the due diligence that I did when I started this business. I never looked at it as renting only one truck. I looked at it as, what if I rent 8 trucks? If I rent 8 trucks, I'm netting $500,000, easily grossing over $1 million. It's $1 million business in gross, netting $500,000 with 8 trucks. That's the CEO mindset that I came in this business with. Yeah, if y'all want to, continue to watch me as I build this, business to what my expectations are going into it, go ahead and, like this video, go ahead and subscribe, and stay tuned for future videos. Peace.
Everything I used to dream being real right now. If it wasn't